Vitaly Laletin believes that if it wasn't for the unfair refereeing, he should have been the winner of his last super match against Dave Chaffee at King of the Table. Hello arm wrestling fans, in this video we are going to talk about Vitaly's comments about his current shape, his previous match and his upcoming match with Dave Chaffee. Then Artyom Morozov's comments about the same Dave versus Vitaly match, and is Jerry avoiding Artyom for a super match. Then after that, Irakli Zerakashvili's bicep curl lift, which was less of a pronation lift. Valera Chobutaru's comments about his future in arm wrestling, where he's going to compete. And finally, why isn't Levan mentioned in the East versus West rankings? The answer is simple, but not as simple as some of us may be thinking. So a couple of days ago, Vitaly was interviewed on the Iron Rating YouTube channel. And there he said that his last match was 57 minutes long against Dave because his shoulder was hurting at that time and he basically had no side pressure. That's why he had to hold Dave just with hand control and pronation. He couldn't do anything else. And last time he had some doubts as well going into the match, but now all of the doubts have gone away because he has been building himself up for 1.5 years. All of the shoulder problems are gone now and he's ready for some revenge. Vitaly said that he is not yet ready for Levan Saginashvili. His path to the top includes defeating Dave Chaffee, then defeating Georgi Svetkov, and then after that having a rematch against Hermes Gasparini. So now let's talk about the previous match, or Vitaly's comments about his previous match against Dave Chaffee. He said that even the down ref came to him after the match and apologized for the bad reffing of the main ref. He even said that if I was the ref, maybe the results could have been different. This is completely unheard of in arm wrestling. So let's see who the referees of that match were. The main referee was Tim Talmadge, who is from USA, and the down referee was Sergio, who is from Dubai, but I think originally he may be from Russia, if I remember it correctly. So there could have been a little bias towards Vitaly in that match, but clearly the reffing was not good in that match. Even I called it out at that time that Vitaly was kind of robbed in that match, to be honest. And we have seen Tim Talmadge ref the Pavlo versus Devon left arm super match. So I think it's quite clear that just like many other referees, he can also make some big mistakes, which was also the case in that match as well. Artyom Morozov believes the same thing. He also mentioned it in one of the videos on a Russian channel, which I'll mention in the description of this video. He also said that Vitaly was kind of robbed in that match. He should have been the rightful winner of that super match against Dave Chaffee. And this time he's probably going to win. He better win, because if Vitaly defeats Dave tomorrow, then he will face Vitaly at East versus West. This is what he was saying about April.
Будет бороться Виталий с Чаффи. Если Виталий выиграет,
а Виталий выиграет?
Я надеюсь, да, потому что ему это нужно. В тот раз он проиграл, Никита был свидетелем. Было не очень честно, не очень...
Судейство говна, правильно?
Говной пахнет.
Говной пахнет.
Когда выиграет он, возможно, я буду с ним бороться в апреле. Даже...
After that, I talked with Morozov. I confirmed it with him. He said this match is not happening as of now. So even if Vitaly wins, he's not going to face Morozov in April, but there is still a possibility of that match happening in the later part of this year. So this may still happen, but the arm left or right, it wasn't clarified. But if the result of this match is awaited, which is a right arm match, then we may be talking about a right arm match with Morozov. Jerry Caderet is avoiding Artyom Morozov. So Artyom said that they discussed this match with Engin Terzi, and Jerry wasn't interested in having a match with Artyom for whatever reasons. Morozov even gave some reasoning, because I think Artyom is number 7 in the rankings and Jerry is number 3, and he has already defeated Georgi Svetkov, who defeated Artyom Morozov. So Morozov understands that with that logic, it doesn't make much sense for Jerry to compete against me.
Его побороться с этим Джерри Кадаретти. Знаете, кто такой?
Нет.
Это вот, который вот так борется. Вел переговоры, разговаривал с организатором. Я говорю, он меня спрашивает, с кем ты хочешь аркать? Я говорю, с Кадаретти. Он там что-то на 3-й строчке, по-моему, после Ларата и Эрмеса. Я хочу с Кадаретти бороться.
Это правая рука?
Правая рука, да. А Кадаретти заявляет, что ему неинтересно, понимаешь?
С тобой бороться?
Да.
Ты чё, охуел? Ёпта.
Jerry is doing great. He's spending some time with his family. He's roaming around in his sports cars. He's having the time of his life. So when a person like that is involved in a super match, He doesn't really care about what the bosses say. He's his own boss. I think that's the case with Jerry as well. That's why he kind of keeps on neglecting some matches, because he wants the top matches only, the Devon Lairds and Hermes Gasparinis. Because arm wrestling doesn't affect his life too much, to be honest. Irakli Zerakashvili was lifting 77 kilos in what seems to be somewhat between a pronation lift and a back pressure lift. Obviously the angle was not parallel, but to be honest, your arm isn't parallel to the ground when you're arm wrestling on the table. The way Irakli started this lift was exactly how your arm is, how your angle is when you put your elbow on the elbow pad. So I think that was a cool, perfect lift. 77 kilos, these human beings are becoming insanely strong. And anything that involves lifting or curling weights in a back pressure moment, Irakli is literally unbeatable. In some of these lifts, he lifts more than Levan Saginashvili. Valera Chobutaru said this: I want to perform on AMC this year. Weight is 136 kilos right now and it's on its way, so maybe it's increasing even more. Valera, a friend and sparring partner of Denis Siplankov, so maybe it's on some other channel where it is mentioned. Not enough people give credit to this guy's technicality that he showed against Lars Rohrbacken. The same thing goes for Khaled Jashel as well against Schoolboy. In both of these matches, we saw King's moves, we saw floor presses, we saw tricep presses, we saw hooks, we saw top rolls. These guys showed us everything, and yet there isn't enough appreciation of that. So I think the guy is great. He looks like a jacked monster, should be deserving more and more matches. And finally, a community post on Reddit. Why isn't Levan on the East vs West website rankings? So the first answer is because he has never competed there. And 10 upvotes, that's the clear most obvious answer. But Engin kind of merged the East vs West and King of the Table rankings some months ago, maybe less than 2 months ago. And after that, I have seen some arm wrestlers be on East vs West rankings without even competing there. I think I saw Lars Rohrbacken and one more name there. So it is just a matter of time. When Levan competed against Hermes at King of the Table, at that time Engin didn't merge these rankings. So if Levan competed, let's say last month against Hermes, then it could have been different. He should also have been, or he could also have been involved in those rankings. So I think that's a complete answer to this question. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.